Hi, everybody. This is Craig, the water guy. I hope you're doing well today. Hey, I've got over 33 years experience in the water treatment industry, and I'm here to help you out today. Uh, Search a no salt water softener out there. Uh, to start with, there is no such thing as a no salt water softener. There is water conditioners out there that don't use salt. Water conditioners, what they do is they break down the hardness minerals into smaller particles so they cannot adhere and stick to fixtures permanently, which gives you better cleansing action and more soap suds and stuff like that. Gives you some of the benefits that regular water softener would give you, but without the salt. The thing about them is that they're somewhat limited. Our experience with them, and we do carry them on our website, which I'll go over here with you in a minute, is that if you're on your own private well, you want to stay away from them because if you have any sort of sediment or iron or manganese or sulfur or anything like that in the water, it will the system will not work properly for you. They're non-backwashing systems. They're what you call upflow, so they don't require electricity. They don't waste water. Those are all key feature benefits of the salt-free water conditioners, what some people are called salt-free water softeners. So what happens when you're on a well, because you have all those other things that you could contend with from one time to the next, or even all the time, is that it'll end up fouling the bed out and end up causing you problems. There's just no way to clean it on a regular basis. So if you're on a well, stay away from the no salt water softener. Okay. If you're on municipal water supply and if you're city water, if your water is under 20 grains per gallon of hardness, and if you've never had a traditional water softener before, then you would probably be happy with a no salt water softener. And it may be something that you might want to entertain and go ahead and get. There is certain counties and certain states, such as California, for instance, parts of Southern California, uh, ban traditional water softeners because they don't want the softener to regenerate, discharge a large amount of water and the small amount of sodium that goes in there into their sewer system. So they banned them in a lot of cases. So and in those particular areas, you would have to go with a no salt water softener. And if you're under 20 grains hard, in a lot of cases you will be in those particular areas, then great. Okay. Uh, Now, as far as the other scenario, no salt water softeners, some people will say they have a traditional water softener, but it's a no salt water softener. What they're doing there is they're using a salt substitute to regenerate the system with called potassium chloride. K-Life is a brand name for that, which is pretty popular. We were actually one of the first companies out there offering potassium chloride for regenerated water softeners. Years ago, I did a commercial job for a big auto mall in Santa Rosa, California, and this is probably back in 1996, right around there, 97. Okay, and their main complaint there was is every time their sprinklers would come on to water their lawns, it would spot all the new cars that they just spent a lot of money detailing, and basically just be a waste of money for them, and their cars didn't look good. So they want to figure out a way to stop that from happening. So I went out there and I looked at the situation, did some testing on their water, and found that they needed fairly high flow rates to be able to feed those sprinkler systems on timers. We had to do a little manipulating on the timers to get that to work. But what we ended up doing is we installed a commercial size water softener for them, and I did a lot of research and found there was a 4-year study done through Dr. Lin Wu at University of Davis in California, use a potassium chloride and water softeners, using the regenerate water to water different turf grasses and plants and stuff like that. And the study came out to be very favorable. The potassium actually ended up being a fertilizer for most of those plants and turf grasses. So they actually did a lot better with them, where the ones that they used salt with didn't do too well. So what we did is we ended up doing a lot of shopping around, and back then there wasn't a lot of businesses that carried potassium chloride. We ended up finding it of all places at a livestock feeding supply company that was carrying it, and so we start purchasing it through them. And we put the auto dealership on auto delivery, where we go out, once a month and maintain the system for them and add the potassium chloride and stuff. And that did well for them. No more spotting on their cars, and their lawns actually did very well. So I'm very familiar with potassium chloride. What's happened over the years is because of manufacturing issues of potassium chloride, or whatever the fact was that caused the pricing to go way up. So now potassium chloride is very expensive in compared to salt. So unless you get a system that is upflow regeneration with new age technology like the Soft Pro water softeners, for instance, where they're going to save you up to 75% of salt, 64% on water regeneration, using potassium chloride could end up costing you a lot of money to maintain your standard meter softeners that you find at like Home Depot, Lowe's, Culligan, Connecticut, stuff like that. Even the ones online, unless they're a Soft Pro system, upflow Soft Pro type system, they're going to cost you a lot to operate the system. So that's what they mean by no salt water softener. That is a traditional water softener, but use potassium chloride versus salt to regenerate the system. So you're exchanging potassium for the hardness minerals instead of sodium for the hardness minerals. Okay. So let's go to how no salt water softeners work, which is really a salt-free water conditioner. What I've done here is I've searched it, and I found that the most popular here is Pelican water. They call it the nature system. Okay. What they've done here is this system here is a system that is, it's nothing special as far as what a lot of other companies offer when it comes to the salt-free water conditioner, salt-free water softener, or whatever you want to call it. What they've done is they've used a media here, which is a media out of Germany, and this media is fairly costly. You don't use a lot of media there. The water runs through the system, through the tube, and then comes up through the media and continuously turns it over, lifts it up. It takes anywhere from a gallon to 3 gallons per minute to lift this media up when you're using water in the home. So it's real important not to oversize these systems, because if you oversize them by getting too large of a system, you may not be using enough water on a regular basis to keep that media lifted up as you're using water. And if you don't do that, they don't work very well. Okay, so what they've done here is they put a nice stainless steel jacket cover over their black or almond mineral tank, which is a fiberglass tank to make it look pretty. Okay. And then what they've done here is you have a filter in front of it. When you're on city water, what's inside this filter is a carbon cartridge. The carbon cartridge helps remove any sediment that might come through every once in a while on city water, but it also removes the chlorine from the water, which will help the performance of your system and give you better water throughout the house. So as the water runs through the system, it goes ahead and breaks down those minerals for you and then enters the house. The average life on the media depends on how much water you use, depends on how hard the water is, but our experience is about every 10 to 15 years. We've been carrying these type of systems for quite some time. When they first came out, we started carrying them. We're just very picky about who we sell them to. We want to make sure that you're under the proper circumstances, like I explained to you earlier. Okay. Now, if you notice this Pelican system here, 1 to 3 bathrooms, they want almost $1,400 for it. 4 to 6 bathrooms, they want almost a little bit over $1,600 for it. If you go to our website, I've already pulled up the page for you. You'll see it's the same system. The difference is that we don't have that fancy stainless steel cover for it. We could get those covers for you and actually ship them with that cover on there if you prefer for an extra cost. But in most cases, people really don't care about the cover. So anyway, the systems that we carry, same exact system. Everything is the same media, same filters, the whole 9 yards. The only difference again is the cover. You're looking at $11.99 all the way up to $13.98 for a system that uh, will cover a bathroom up to 1 to 3 baths. So you're looking at a cost difference of significantly less than you are through this Pelican. They call it a Pelican water softener. You notice that we call it a water conditioner. It's not a water softener; it's a water conditioner. So that's how those systems work. Again, it's not for everybody, and you can always use potassium chloride in our traditional water softeners that is using new age technology along with upflow regeneration, which is this system here. You're looking at a significant amount of less money for upfront cost. And if you use this system here using potassium chloride, your maintenance cost is not going to be that much, and it's just going to work for you regardless of the circumstance. Well water, city water, doesn't matter how hard the water is, it's going to work for you. So this is a sure bet, folks. I know we sell both systems, and if you're in an area where you're banned to use a traditional softener, regardless of whether you're using salt or potassium chloride, and you have to go with a salt-free water conditioner, then definitely go with our salt-free system, our natural soft system. But otherwise, I would recommend, with all the years of experience that I have, that you go with the Soft Pro system, either our Pura Optimus or our higher flow, better systems like our Soft Pro Elite Basic systems. You could even go with a Soft Pro Elite Plus for city water, which uses a media guard filter internally to remove the chlorine before it hits the resin bed, which will give you those additional benefits of having chlorine-free water along with soft water. Use potassium chloride so you're not putting sodium into your water. If you want to irrigate with it, you can irrigate with it as well. I hope that helps you, and thank you for visiting us today, and have a great day.